Hey everybody, this is Buzz Miller of Wannabe Studios. Today we're going to talk about a few things, but a lot of it is the bands we watch and how they play live. So hang on, let's see what happens. Okay, first things first, we're going to have a busy 2 or 3 weeks here on the channel. We're not going to play any guitar today. We're going to talk about live performances, but later on in the week, we are going to learn all of our modes. We're going to learn all of our modes. I'm going to have a PDF you can download and print. It'll show you where to put your fingers on every one. We're going to show you the easiest way to learn all of your modes. Then in a later video, we're going to learn how to apply the modes to what you're playing, what you're learning. That's also going to start bridging in our ear training from about 2 weeks ago, and we're going to blend them together. How we deal with ear training, following chords, and how to use the modes. But before we do that, let's talk today about, just saw on Facebook that Poison has announced their stadium tour for next summer. And in their announcement for their tour, they say, no backing tracks, no nothing, this is rock and roll. So let's talk about backing tracks, because I was asked on an email just recently, what is your take on bands that use backing tracks, click tracks, this type of thing? And I thought about it for a while. We're going to separate this into 4 groups. The first group is the band that goes up and plays. Nothing other than monitors in front of them, possibly in-ears. No click tracks, no backing tracks, no nothing. We go out, we play our music. And I think every musician appreciates that and loves that. For me, I appreciate it, I love it. That's the way I always played, partly because I didn't have enough stuff to have things behind me, that type of thing. So how do I feel on that? I'm absolutely in love with bands that do that. The next section is bands that use click tracks. Is this a bad thing? Is it unfair? I don't think so. And I'm going to say for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you're doing this to keep on beat, I've got no problem with that. If you're doing this like a lot of bands that have very intricate parts, very intricate sounds, they have a lot of backing tracks, you know, whether it's Metallica and one is coming in and you've got helicopters flying in and all that kind of thing. If you're talking about Queensryche, if you're talking about Dream Theater, if you're talking about big concept albums, Pink Floyd, you have to play to a click because you might have visual items behind you playing the movie. You may have audible sounds, you know, Dream Theater, lines from a movie when you're doing Space Dyed Vest or something like that. You can't go out, I don't care who you are or how good you are, you cannot go out knowing that behind you in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, this sound is going to start and be perfectly on. So if you're playing with a click because you have video items behind you that's showing intricate parts of the story, if you have, you know, an album type of a concept album type of thing, you have to play to a click. You don't have a choice. Now, what is my take on that? I've got no problem with that, with playing to a click. Whether the drummer's got it and everybody else follows the drummer, however that works. Maybe everybody's got the click. I don't know. I have no problem with that. Then we get to the next step. The next step is people that have pre-recorded tracks of their own making that play with them. Now, what do I mean? Let's say you've got a single guitarist and you've got a guitar part that is behind your solo and you have it pre-recorded that you played and you've got the rhythm track behind you. I'm starting to get where I don't like this. A few tours ago, I watched Dream Theater and James had his own vocals behind him. I would rather you come out and sing the part that's the most prominent. And if we don't have the third below it, or if we don't have, you know, the harmony with it, I don't really mind. If you choose to do that as a band because you want a more full and a more complete sound, I've got no problem with it. Would I do it? Probably not, because I understand that if you wanted the band to sound perfect, stay at home and put the CD on. I think a live performance is to connect with the audience. And in my opinion, the best way to connect with the audience is to be very true to the music, very true to me performing for you. I feel the energy from you, you feel the energy from me, and we're in this together. So I wouldn't that, and I don't have good harmonies and things like that to play behind me. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I don't do it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not Dream Theater. I'm not Queensryche. You know, Queensryche's going out and they're playing and they're going to do Sweet Sister Mary. Do they have the financial possibilities to have multiple trucks and to be doing this every night and to have singers every night? And do you have, strings to perform your parts with you every night? If you've got that as backing tracks, that's your thing. Make it sound full. That's great. Then we go to number 4. Number 4 is the people on the stage are not singing or playing their parts. Something's behind them. I have a huge problem with this. I think this is cheating the fans. I think this is cheating all of the people that went and bought tickets to the show. If you can't keep up with playing your parts, either alter them so you can, and we don't mind that James Hetfield doesn't play all the down notes for 10 songs in a row that are so difficult. He's getting hand cramps because he's still a human, even though he's subhuman with that right hand work. So do I mind if he alternate picks a couple or misses a couple of picks, which he does on songs now? I don't mind that. So if you want to adjust your music, some bands tune down a step so the singer can still hit the notes. Got no problem with that. I do have a problem with you going on stage and pretending you're playing, whether it's bass, whether it's the drums, whether it's the vocals. If you can't do it, step out. If you can't do it, tune to step low. I get it. I was an Olympic hopeful. I am no longer that form of an athlete, so I'm not going to go out and pretend that I can still high jump 7 feet. I can't do it. I'm carrying way too much extra weight. It's not going to happen. I understand. There's times that I am just too old to do the things that I used to do. Whether it's too old or I just don't have the capacity, I get it. I can't run around like I used to. I can't jump like I used to. I can't, I just had back surgery where they fused a bunch of my vertebrae together. I can't do the things I used to do. So if I can't do it, sometimes you need to know when to call it quits. And sometimes you need to know when I can still go out. I can still play. I can still play this. I remember watching Boston. Boston came and did a tour, and there was one note that Brad Delp couldn't hit. And so he's singing all the songs, which is great. And then they said, hey, I can't hit this note. We've got this guy here that's playing whatever. He can hit that note. And when they got to the part of the song where it was too high for him, he actually handed it over and the guy sung the note. I have no problem with that. But if you want to take a Brad Delp track from 20 years ago and I come out and I pay my money and you have some track behind you playing his thing from 20 years ago, that's not live music to me. That's not what I paid for the ticket. That is, I think that's, like I said, cheating the fans. So there's my take. If you want to go out raw and play, everyone, I think, is supportive of that. And if you play too fast or you play too slow, hey, it's what it is. It's live music. Again, you're just connecting with the fans. If you want to play to a click, I got no problem with that, especially if you've got things behind you. If you want to take recordings of you, Van Halen, he'll pre-record his keyboard parts, and while he's on the guitar, his actual keyboard parts are behind him. Again, you need a click to do that. Is that a bad thing? No. It's starting to get to that questionable point, but as long as it's you and the musicians in your band making those sounds and making those pre-recordings, it's okay. As soon as you get to the point where either it's not you, it's you 20 years ago doing it, and you're up there air guitaring, lip syncing, whatever, that is wrong in my view. That's my take. Take it or leave it. Tell me in the comments what you think and how you feel about these four, what you play, what you could play if you had the money. I mean, if you had the backing and you had the fame and the fortune of being able to go out and do a Operation Mindcrime live, you know, would you do backing tracks? Would you do the different video screens and all that kind of thing? Okay, this is Buzz Miller from Wannabe Studios. Tune in later on in the week. We're going to talk more guitar, but for right now, it's just live music. But as always, keep on rocking. See ya.